overthrown that one. 1st and 10, 13-yard line. Kurt Warner. Tough yardage here. Gains maybe a yard out of that. Sean Miller, the nose tackle, is at the bottom of that.
I think Seattle has to say, well, Kurt Warner, we scored a lot of points without you last year. I think they got to go back to playing the way they played last year, open it up, and if they open it up, they possibly could get back in this game. But they're definitely a better football team when they're behind and they open up this offense.
Their big play receiver is Darrell Turner. He has not caught a pass tonight. He represents the speed. He has 5 touchdowns in the first 2 ball games. This is Larkin. He works great underneath.
And with these Ram linebackers, he better learn to get down after he catches the ball.
He's playing with a very sore back. It was questionable last week whether he would be able to go at all. And it bothered him all this week during practice. Actually, he says it doesn't bother him when he runs. It bothers him when he walks or jogs. That time he got 7 yards. Make it 6 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Dornick comes in. He's a good receiver, number 33 out of the backfield. And the 4 wide receivers are in. Franklin and Walker join Largent and Turner. Dornick. 1st down and more. Dornick over the 35 to the 37. They love to bring him in like this. He's a good blocker and a good pass receiver. Not the most scintillating running back, but very effective. Out of concentration on the ball, and he gets the 1st down.
Well, what happens here is Dornick is actually Nolan Cromwell's man to cover, and Nolan got hung up in the traffic and was not able to get across the field to pick up Dan. There's Nolan just missing the tackle.
Dornick played his first year with the Giants and his last 7 here at Seattle. Local hero, played his collegiate football at Washington State. That time remaining in the 3rd quarter. There, we're going to Turner deep. Turner comes down with it, and that's what we've been looking for all night. Magnificent. Great catch. Turner, the 16th reception of this young season. Johnny Johnson and Gary Green were back there. That's Gary Green, one of the best defending cornerbacks in the league. He had great position, and Darrell Turner just went higher than he did.
Darrell Turner is 6'3". Gary Green is 5'11". Look like an old R.C. Owens alley-oop.
He has had an amazing career, a 2nd-round draft pick from Michigan State. Coming into tonight, he had just an amazing record of 15 touchdowns on 43 receptions. On the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. Craig tries to get it to Largent. Good coverage. Leroy Irwin shaken up on that play. Also slow to get up is Johnny Johnson.
Craig should feel very fortunate that that pass wasn't intercepted. It was a zone coverage, and he threw into the strength of the zone.
Turner comes back in. They had taken him out for one play to give him a bit of a breather. Out comes Byron Franklin. Johnny Johnson appears to be all right. Rams and the Seahawks tied at 7. Norm Johnson to hit it. D for Charlie White and Lynn Kane. Lynn Kane, he'll stay in the end zone. Charlie White advising him to do so. So the Rams will begin at their 20-yard line. Dieter Brock did not have a good first half. 2 interceptions. He was 7 of 14, 105 yards. Looked like he had trouble seeing over the line of scrimmage on one of them. And the other one was a pass he should never have thrown that was picked off by Brown and taken in from 28 yards out. These two teams both undefeated at 2-0. Last year, Seattle 12-4, wild card in the AFC. Beat the Raiders in the playoffs and lost to Miami. The Rams were 10-6, a wild card in the NFC. Lost to the Giants in the playoff, 16-13. Dickerson on his first night back of the 1985 season. Carried it 16 times the first game, but this is Lynn Kane, who gets a yard and a half. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, Tom Catlett is a defensive coordinator for this Seahawks team. He's been with Chuck Knox for 13 years. He put in those great Ram defenses and led Buffalo to be the top defense in football in the early 80s. He's going to force Dieter Brock to beat him now. He's not going to let Eric Dickerson beat him.
Rams on second and long have brought in 3 tight ends. Tony Hunter, whom they acquired from Buffalo when they traded quarterback Vince Ferragamo recently, is in there, number 87. Mike Barber, 86, is the U-back, and David Hill is there. Peter Brock fired that to Ellard. Ellard slipped and had gone down as we have a little bit of fisticuffs breaking out at the line of scrimmage. Now cooler heads have prevailed. Russ Bollinger is playing in place of an injured Dennis Hara tonight. Dennis, one of the fine offensive linemen of the Rams, with a bad thigh he didn't even suit up for tonight. For Bollinger, who was with the Rams for a couple of years and then played for Memphis this past season, number 73 is in the offensive line. Third down and long for Peter Brock. Brock shot to Bobby Duckworth, a well-thrown ball, and Duckworth looks for first down and gets more. Flag is down. Duckworth was just thinking first down. There was a missed tackle back at the 32-yard line, and he turned it into a big one, but there is a flag down.
It should be a flag, too, because Keith Simpson, number 42, just tried to tear Duckworth's head off from behind him.
Referee tonight, once again, Fred Wyatt.
Personal foul, Seattle.
Personal foul, Seattle. Let's watch it now. Duckworth ran a good pattern, really did. Just took Taylor right upfield, gave an acute angle back, had the first down right there, and then Taylor just missed the tackle.
Now, you'll see the penalty right here. Watch number 42. Dick Night Train Lane could get away with it, but the game has changed since then.
Larry Holmes wishes he had one of those last couple of nights ago. That hurts the team, and it really hurts Saddle. The first down was at the 37-yard line. Now the Rams are near the Seattle Seahawks 20-yard line. Dickerson. Oh, you think there's not some contact being made? That was Keith Butler, the inside linebacker that you heard all the way into your living room.
Oh,
and it hurt Butler, too. I'll tell you, Dickerson does punish players. John Robinson said that today. Throughout the course of a game, he will just punish and punish and punish until pretty soon they start to shy away from hitting him.
Well, that was a heck of a hit by Butler, and Dickerson still gained 2 yards after the contact.
Fred Young and Sam Merriman back up inside linebackers now for the Seahawks. Second down and 7. Peter Brock wide open in the end zone. Bobby Duckworth. Beautiful pattern. It was Duckworth who turned Dave Brown around, the veteran, who intercepted a pass and went for a touchdown earlier, but this time Duckworth really beat Brown.
Well, he had an isolated man-on-man coverage, and Bobby runs the post pattern and then breaks out to the corner. He turns him all the way around. Good pattern and a perfect pass.
This Seahawks team is normally a zone defensive team, and they're inviting the Rams to throw the football, and the Rams have done a good job of throwing it.
Lansford for the conversion. That was a good pattern by Duckworth. He, of course, has been with the San Diego Chargers for the past 3 years. Had 47 receptions over his career there, but 9 of those receptions were for touchdowns. He's a big play receiver, and the Rams have him. Lansford splits the uprights.
14, Seahawks 7.
There he is, Bobby Duckworth. Good deep man, 4th year out of Arkansas. Danny Green, Mike Lansford, who does his kicking with a bare foot, has it on the tee. Norwood Van has come back into the lineup. If you were with us earlier, it looked like he might have suffered a severe knee injury, but he's out there. Glad to see that. This will be Randall Morris from the 6-yard line. Drops the football, and it's still there. And the scramble is on. It's still loose. Rams have it. The first turnover of the season for the Seattle Seahawks, and it is going to hurt. Randall Morris dropped the football, could not pick it up off the carpet. Then there was a mad scramble, and Mark Giroux on the special teams of the Rams comes up with it.
Well, Randall makes 2 mistakes here. The first mistake is he dropped the ball, obviously, and the second mistake, he should have just fallen on the ball instead of trying to pick it up and run.
Danny Green tried to cover it after Morris had missed it. And Giroux comes up with it. It'll be first down, goal to go for the Rams at the 2nd-yard line. former Baltimore Colt or Indianapolis Colt. And Dieter Brock wants to talk it out. Over. They use a timeout. And Dieter Brock will come over to the sidelines and confer with head coach John Robinson. And we'll be back with more action in a moment. The fumble by the Seahawks. Randall Morris has provided the Rams with an excellent opportunity. First down goal to go. The ball at the 2-yard line. This game, a hard-hitting game, has the Rams out in front 14-7. Dickerson. And yes, we get the signal from the official. It is a touchdown. So Eric Dickerson has now scored twice in his first game back after his 46-day holdout.
It's funny, on his first touchdown, I thought it was just a good athletic ability. Now I think Eric has perfected this into a move where he runs up to the line of scrimmage, gets hit, and springs into the end zone.
What we are going to see now on the part of Seattle, I'm quite sure, is going to the type of game that they had to play against Cincinnati and San Diego. And that is opening it up, trying to go deep to their deep receiver. That, of course, is Darrell Turner. Working Steve Largent underneath, but now they are going to have to loosen up their offense. They like to win conservatively, but when they can't, they can play as wild as the best of them. Lansford puts it through as Eric Dickerson has scored his second of the night. He's been hit hard tonight also, I might add. Rams on top 21-7. Saturday on CFA College Football, Heisman hopeful Bo Jackson and the #1 Auburn Tigers tangle with Tennessee and their exciting quarterback Tony Robinson in a battle of SEC rivals. Or Chuck Long and #3 Iowa takes on intra-state rival Iowa State. Coverage beginning here on ABC at 3 o'clock Eastern on Saturday. CFA College Football. And have you guys seen Bo Jackson play?
Oh, I've seen him the last 3 years, and he is something special. Tell you what, he's going to have a tough time when he gets out of college trying to decide whether to go with the professional baseball or football. He's a great baseball player.
If I was Bo, I think I'd go to baseball because, hey, I'm just 38. I could still be playing baseball.
Dropping deep once again, and it just seemed like only a moment ago they were back there. Randall Morris, to your left, fumbled that ball. In one play, the Rams were in the end zone. Lansford to kick off once again. It'll be Randall Morris again. He'll watch this one all the way in. And Morris out of the 25 for first and 10 at the 27-yard line. We'd like to welcome one of our newest affiliates, in fact our newest affiliate, in Alexandria, Louisiana, KLAX. Glad to have you aboard. We have not had another dramatic play offensively from either ball club here tonight. Some really superb defensive play. Seattle finally getting their first turnover this season. And it was quickly turned into a Ram touchdown. First down, Craig is back again. Craig out over the 30-yard line. That's about 6 yards out of that. It'll be 2nd and 4. Interestingly enough, after the first 2 games played in the NFL this season, Craig was a #1 rated quarterback, and the 2nd rated quarterback was Dan Fouts. The 3rd rated quarterback was Bill Kinney. They are all from the AFC Western Division. We'll see how that works out down the line, but there are some fine quarterbacks in this division of the AFC. Headed by Craig. Warner, good running. Short of the first down, but only by about a half a yard at the 35-yard line.
And I don't even think you mentioned John Elway. He's in the division.
John Elway, Jim Plunkett is right up there. Elway, actually AFC Western Division quarterbacks after 2 games were 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7 in the National League, as Plunkett was 6 and Elway was 7th.
Plunkett will stay 6 for quite a while because I don't think he'll play again this year after that injury yesterday.
Separated shoulder, dislocated shoulder. Jim Plunkett. Warner gets the first down. Rams are saying no, that they got the football. And yes, they do at the bottom of the pile. I didn't see it come out, but there is a flag down. There's a mad scramble. Cromwell is at the bottom of that. Holding
Number 59 declined. First down.
And now the mistakes are starting to come, and that usually happens when you play a tough defense. And this is one of the reasons why we have this reverse angle camera.
As you can see, the original hole was not there, and Kurt is just trying to work his way to get that first down, and it appeared as if he had it. And he's just tagged and coughs up the ball.
Well, another turnover, and again, good field position for the Rams at the 37-yard line, and there is a Seattle Seahawk player that is very slow getting up. As a matter of fact, the medical team is out there looking at one of the Seahawk players.
Maybe Warner.
It is Kurt Warner. And we're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
This is KOMO TV4.
Frank Gifford along with O.J. Simpson and Joe Namath. Hard-hitting football game. Both these teams 2-0 records into tonight. The only other undefeated team in the NFL is the Chicago Bears. Rams scored first. Eric Dickerson from 1 yard out, culminating a 65-yard drive as it looks like Warner now is getting it pulled together. The Seahawks came right back. David Brown took in a interception of Dieter Brock from 28 yards out. Dieter Brock then hit Bobby Duckworth from 19 yards out, and Eric Dickerson has just scored from 2 yards out. And right now it's 21-7, the Rams leading. We'll try and get a complete report on Kurt Warner. That could have just been a bump on the head.
Well, he was stretched out trying to get that first down, and Nolan Cromwell came up and had a free shot on him. Stuck him pretty well.
Rams first down, 37-yard line of the Seahawks. Dickerson, single setback, and he'll carry the ball. Beasley and Fred Young on the stop. Gain of about 6 for Dickerson.
That was a classic Ram play. They used to call it student body right at USC, but you see Ken Hill, number 72. You saw him pull around and get up front, and he is just about the best pulling guard in football today.
Well, they are doing all of this tonight without the aid of their fine right guard, Dennis Harrah, has a severely injured thigh. Russ Bollinger is playing for him. Second and 4, Dieter Brock, and he hits Ellard. And Ellard inside the 15-yard line, beating John Harris. That was a fine pass by Brock.
Yeah, fine pass, and the reason they're getting these wide receivers open is because the linebackers and the strong safety is trying to give support to stop the running game. He simply splits. Henry simply splits the zone that time in between the linebackers and beat the cornerback to the inside. A good throw, too, by Dieter.
Ellard gets the Ram first down at the 18-yard line, or the 13-yard line. Dickerson. Very crowded on the outside. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. They continue to work on Kurt Warner. We have not heard yet the injury or the extent of the injury. It's presumed it was just a shot that he took to the head.
Well, Dieter, he's doing the things that they wanted from him. They know they can beat you. The Rams can beat you with Eric Dickerson. What they had to get was someone that can beat them when the other teams throw in the whole defense to stop Eric. They need to beat you with a passing game, and Dieter is doing it tonight.
At the 13-yard line. Second and 10. Rock. Oh, no, no. That will be loss of down and penalty.
No, that's the worst thing a quarterback can do besides turn the ball over. Intentional grounding.
Well, he didn't. He could have thrown that through the end zone and perhaps got away with it. He had 2 receivers in the end zone. He just threw it right in the turf, and they'll back him up, and he'll lose the down.
Didn't even try to fool the officials. I mean, at least to try to make it look good.
Referee Fred Wyant.
Intentional grounding, number 5. Loss of down.
Well, that time Seattle came with a safety blitz. In fact, an all-out blitz with their safeties, and Duckworth and Ellard just couldn't get open. It was good man coverage downfield. Dieter read it all the way, and that's why he got out of that pocket. He just couldn't find anyone to throw the ball to.
Seahawks are down, but they certainly are not giving up on this game. They can strike so quickly. They know that if they can get the ball back to Craig, Sooner or later, he's going to connect up with Turner or Larson. Third down and 23. Dickerson.
And it's loose.
Ball's loose. Seattle has it. That's what John Robinson was most concerned about Dickerson. He tends to fumble the ball considerably, but when you have not carried the football and had contact, this was his concern that he told us about this morning, that Dickerson would turn it over.
Well, let's watch it. The play appeared as if it was going to be a good play. He got both his linemen out in front, but an excellent play. I'm sure that was Kenny Easley. He's normally the one that forces things, and Dickerson just cut it out.
Randy Edwards caused that fumble, number 68, out of the University of Alabama. Nice going, Randy.
And Jacob Green collected it. The Seahawks have a 1st and 10. The ball at their own 17-yard line. Kurt Warner back in the game. So he apparently is all right. 9:13 remaining in a slow, hard-hitting third quarter. Greg is back. Looks for Turner, checks it off to the tight end, Charles Young, and Young will have a 1st down. He's out over the 30-yard line, hit first by Wilcher. Ooh, they love the Seahawks here in Seattle, don't they? Big turnover for the Seahawks a moment ago, the fumble by Dickerson. That was looking very much like it was going to be a 28-7 ball game. Seahawks scored 28 against Cincinnati in a 28-24 win. They scored 49 against the Chargers in a 49-35 win. 1st and 10. Greg is back. Larkin is open, but he's overthrown. He had found the seam in the zone. He was there, and that time Craig just overthrew the ball. Dave Craig came in as a free agent 6 years ago. For 4 years, he watched Jim Zorn do it here in Seattle. A year and a half ago, he took over. He's been extraordinary since then, taking Seattle twice to the playoffs. Remarkable numbers. Pro Bowl backup. 32 touchdowns a year ago. Only one man did better, and that was Marino with 48. And Chuck Knox is elected to go with 2 quarterbacks this year. He has Gail Gilbert, a rookie from California, as a backup. 2nd and 10. Craig with a lot of time, and Largent collided downfield with Gary Green. Green went down. Largent was held up. The fans want a penalty. They will not get it.
Gary Green did an excellent job of jumping in front of Largent. Right here, he jumps right in front of him. He had the position. He's close, but he looked as if he had position.
I'm not quite sure they have liberalized the pass interference rule to include that.
No, I think that was a missed call. That ball was in the air. That should have been interference.
3rd and 10. Not a bad one to come back with. Out of the shotgun. And Craig tried to force it into Byron Franklin. Incomplete. And the punting unit will come on for Buffalo. Byron Franklin was recently acquired from Buffalo. Last year he had 69 receptions for the Bills, 4 touchdowns. He became available, and the Seahawks went for him. Henry Ellard back with Johnny Johnson. Deep for the Rams. And here is young Jim Colquitt, nephew of Greg Colquitt, the former kicker with the Steelers. He never dropped that. He dropped it with the tail down, and a lousy putt. And the Rams are going to have great field position. Ball at their own 47-yard line on a 23-yard punt. And punting has really plagued the Seahawks here in the early going of the season. Here at the Kingdome in Seattle, all the activities taking place. We're midway through the third quarter. Rams are leading the Seahawks 21-7. And following a Colquitt punt, they only traveled 23 yards. The Rams have great field position at their own 47-yard line. Their last 3 possessions of Seattle's 2, Seattle's 37, and now their own 47. Peter Brock wants a bunch of it. Ellard is back there. And Seattle gets the football back. Is Terry Taylor. Peter Brock, third interception of the night. He just hung that up there.
He hung it up. He threw it too late. He's just going to have to learn to work with these receivers a little more and understand these fellas are fast. He was 50 yards downfield or 40 or so before Dieter threw the football. He just has to throw it a little sooner. It's an underthrow and a fine defensive play back there by, well, I didn't get his number.
Terry Taylor. Kind of a sidearm motion that Dieter Brock has.
Yeah, but you know, I don't make too much out of that sidearm three-quarter motion. Two of the best quarterbacks we ever saw to play the game, Y.A. Tittle and Sonny Jurgensen, certainly didn't have a over-the-top motion.
Well, Y.A. Tittle would have never thrown that one. First and 10, 13-yard line. Kurt Warner. Tough yardage here. Gains maybe a yard out of that. Sean Miller, the nose tackle, is at the bottom of that.
I think Seattle has to say, well, Kurt Warner, we scored a lot of points without you last year. I think they got to go back to playing the way they played last year, open it up, and if they open it up, they possibly could get back in this game. But they're definitely a better football team when they're behind and they open up this offense.
Their big play receiver is Darrell Turner. He has not caught a pass tonight. He represents the speed. He has 5 touchdowns in the first 2 ball games. This is larger. He works great underneath.
And with these Ram linebackers, he better learn to get down after he catches the ball.
He's playing with a very sore back. It was questionable last week whether he would be able to go at all. And it bothered him all this week during practice. Actually, he says it doesn't bother him when he runs. It bothers him when he walks or jogs. That time he got 7 yards. Make it 6 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 4. Dornick comes in. He's a good receiver, number 33 out of the backfield. And the 4 wide receivers are in. Franklin and Walker join Largent and Turner. Dornick. First down and more. Dornick over the 35 to the 37. They love to bring him in like this. He's a good blocker and a good pass receiver. Not the most scintillating running back, but very effective. A lot of concentration on the ball, and he gets the first down.
Well, what happens here is Dornick is actually Nolan Cromwell's man to cover, and Nolan got hung up in the traffic and was not able to get across the field to pick up Dan. There's Nolan just missing the tackle.
Dornick played his first year with the Giants and his last 7 here at Seattle. Local hero, played his collegiate football at Washington State. That time remaining in the 3rd quarter. There, we're going to Turner deep. Turner comes down with it, and that's what we've been looking for all night.
Magnificent.
Great catch. Turner, his 16th reception of this young season. Johnny Johnson and Gary Green were back there. That's Gary Green, one of the best defending cornerbacks in the league. He had great position, and Darrell Turner just went higher than he did.
Darrell Turner is 6'3". Gary Green is 5'11". Look like an old R.C. Owens alley-oop.
He has had an amazing career, a 2nd-round draft pick from Michigan State. Coming into tonight, he had just an amazing record of 15 touchdowns on 43 receptions. From the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. Craig tries to get it to Largent. Good coverage. Leroy Irwin shaken up on that play. Also slow to get up is Johnny Johnson.
Craig should feel very fortunate that that pass wasn't intercepted. It was a zone coverage, and he threw into the strength of the zone.
Turner comes back in. They had taken him out for one play to give him a bit of a breather. Out comes Byron Franklin. Johnny Johnson appears to be all right. But he is coming out. Yeah, he was shaken up, and in comes Vince Newsom. Darrell Turner, flip to the bottom of your screen, number 81. Charlie Young, the tight end, works well down in this area. Dave Craig did not like the defense to go with the personnel he had, and he uses a timeout. Seattle has 2 timeouts. He was afraid, actually, he was going to run out of time. 30 Eastern. Interesting. Well, Seattle is down inside the 15-yard line. They have a second down and 10. 4:48 remaining in the third quarter. Seattle needs points here. Largent is in motion. Turner, top of your screen. Largent with a lot of time gets it to Hughes. And Hughes, short of the first down inside the 10, near the 8-yard line, hit by Wilcher. Big third down play now coming up for the Seahawks. Third down and about 4. We'll see the tight ends coming in. Aaron Walker comes in as Seattle elects to go with 4 wide receivers. They'll spread out that defense as much as they can. In all probability, try to work the ball to Largent or Dornick out of the backfield. Third down 4. Craig. In and out of the hands of Walker, he would have been out of bounds. And we'll see the field goal unit, I'm quite sure, come on for the Seahawks. And that means, of course, Norm Johnson, one of the best field goal kickers in the game today.
You know, what really caused that incompletion was that defensive front of the Los Angeles Rams. They were applying pressure back there on Craig, and he just, well, he threw the ball away. He knew he was out of bounds.
Here's Johnson, Pro Bowler last year for the AFC. 20 of 24 a year ago. Very consistent. Largent is the holder, you might notice. Hazen, of course, with the sure hands. Kickers, they love their holders. Some holders can hold, others can't. It's a very important role. 26-yard attempt. And Seattle, for the first time this season, inside the 20 of an opponent, could not get it into the end zone for the touchdown, but they do get 3. Going to remain with Chicago as the other undefeated team in the NFL season just underway. Next Monday, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football will present an AFC Central Division rivalry when the Cincinnati Bengals go against last year's divisional champs, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our action begins, of course, at 9 o'clock Eastern, right here on ABC. Louis Litz, John Stallworth, what a pair of receivers Mark Malone has to throw to with the Steelers. Chris Collinsworth, of course, back with Cincinnati this year after a sojourn in the USFL. Collinsworth, understand, with 10 receptions yesterday in a losing effort, even though Cincinnati has rolled up all those points. 92, they are 0-3 on the season. We don't know whether we'll see Boomer Esiason or Kenny Anderson, a quarterback for the Bengals. But it is a rivalry, and we're looking forward to being in Pittsburgh on Monday night. Deep for the Rams. Charlie White, number 33, and Lynn Keene are back. Charlie White, and he found himself after a lot of personal problems with the Cleveland Browns. And certainly, I'm sure 144 yards last week against Philadelphia gave Charlie White a lot of satisfaction. And White from the 5-yard line. Out over the 20 to the 23-yard line is Charlie White. Sanford, recently acquired by the Seahawks from New England, made the stop. Was little or no question who was going to play at tailback, however, tonight, even though Charlie White had that 144 yards last week against the Eagles. When you got a Dickerson, you load him up and turn him loose.
Well, everyone is happy in L.A. for Charles. He played his college ball at USC, and of course, they know they have a competent backup for Eric if Eric goes down.
23-yard line, the Rams. Leading now 21-10. Dickerson, 57 tough yards on 21 carries and a couple of touchdowns tonight. This is Lynn Kane. Line of scrimmage, and that's it.
The Seahawks' defensive strategy has worked thus far. For the most part, they've contained Dickerson in the Rams' running game. They've forced Brock to throw the ball. They've picked off 3 of those passes. They just have not been able to capitalize on those turnovers.
Tony Hunter in for the Rams. John Robinson really likes the former Notre Dame All-American. They acquired him from the Buffalo Bills, trading quarterback Vince Ferragamo. He's number 87. Peter Brock. That's Ellard. Incomplete. Peter Brock went to Auburn initially in his career. Played behind Pat Sullivan, the Heisman Award winner, then transferred to Jacksonville State. Nobody terribly interested in the National Football League. Went up and became a superstar at Winnipeg for 7 years, then a couple of years in Hamilton. In his career up there, over 34,000 yards, 210 touchdowns. Now he's wearing the uniform of the Rams and looking over a 3rd and 9 against the Seahawks. Dickerson gets a yard, and that's it. It'll be 4th down. But that's what you can do with the Dickerson, O.J. You can be in 3rd and long and still give it to him. Not effective that time, but it will be effective many times in the future. Danny Green is back, and the Seahawks should get relatively good field position. As Dale Hatcher, the rookie punter from Clemson, is on for the Rams. The wave is swirling around the Kingdome, and Hatcher with a good punt. Hung it up high. Fair catch called for by Green at the 39-yard line. Well, the Seahawks, again, good field position. They need to get a big play happening. They got to Turner on that long 37-yard pickup. They had to settle, however, for 3. The Rams playing excellent defense tonight.
Well, the Seahawks, the last time they had the ball, they opened it up. As I said, they're a better team when they open it up. There's a lot of people who feel that Chuck Knox would have won some Super Bowls in L.A. if he wasn't so conservative. Can't argue with his record.
A lot of folks in Seattle are positive he's going to win a Super Bowl, and very shortly. Craig had to check off. Kurt Warner. And Warner with a little stutter step. Slips, but sprawls out to the 45-yard line. It's a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. Carl Eckhorn defensively there for the Rams.
Boy, Dave wanted to go downfield to Darrell Turner badly that time, but the coverage was really good by Gary Green back there. That's why he came off late over to Kurt Warner. You know, that Darrell Turner reminds me, I've heard it said before, reminds me some of John Stallworth.
Looks a lot like him. We'll see John, of course, on Monday night for the Steelers playing against Cincinnati. 2nd and 4. That's Largent in motion. Out of the backfield, Hughes. And Hughes struggles inside the 45-yard line, stopping the clock as he gets to the 42-yard line. No, he stayed inbounds. 13-yard pickup.
See, they're doing a good job of stretching the field widthwise. That's going to force those linebackers to get out there on those backs, and that's going to open up those turn-in patterns by the wide receivers.
And the reason that play was so successful that time is Mike Wilcher, the linebacker for the Rams, did not get out there to cover Darting. He was doing just as O.J. mentioned, trying to help out on the inside.
Seattle has picked that up rather quickly. They are not taking those backs out of the backfield, and one of the best at getting that ball out to them is Craig. That time Warner doesn't handle, and there's a flag down.
Well, there was a mix-up in the backfield. The fullback didn't hear the count. He turned to Warner. He was asking Warner what the count was when the ball was snapped.
Motion, Seattle.
And we get an illegal motion against Seattle as a result.
He wasn't moving. I don't know why they called it illegal motion.
He was moving his upper
Illegal
body.
motion, number 81,
81.
declined. 2nd down.
Number 81.
Rams showing a lot of confidence in their defense. They prefer a 2nd and 10 to a 1st and 15. They declined the penalty. Darrell Turner was guilty of the illegal motion. Largent and Turner both on the same side, top of your screen. They love to use Largent underneath Turner. Now they bring Largent in motion. Right. Again, they dump it off. Largent. That is very uncharacteristic of Steve Largent. You see it with the best of them, though. They take their eyes off it, thinking run before they catch.
Well, that's 2 for Steve tonight. You really see that. It's an indication that he's hurting a little bit, or the Rams are hitting.
I'm really impressed with the ability of Dave Craig to come off his deep receiver and get to these outlet receivers. He tried very hard to go downfield that time, just that the Rams had good coverage.
That's the minute remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 4 wide receivers spreading the Ram defense all over the field. 3rd and 10. Shotgun. Wide open is Largent. He has the 1st down and more inside the 25 to the 23. Johnny Johnson made the stop. They love it here in Seattle.
Now you wonder why Seattle will not play like this all the time. Last week they were behind early in the game against the Chargers, and they opened up their offense, and you know, they scored as many points as they needed.
4 wide receivers were in. Everyone went deep at Largent. He ran a crossing pattern. Wide open. Gets the first down. Inside the 23-yard line. They'll have to hustle to get this play off before the third quarter expires. They get it off. Craig drops the ball. The flag is down. I think we'll have holding against Seattle. Reggie Goss got his hand on Craig, and it is holding, and against Seattle. And also the end of the third quarter. So again, the Ram defense playing it very tough.
Illegal use of hands. Seattle is the call.
Red Wyatt explaining options. Craig glances up, moves over to the sidelines to talk with head coach Chuck Knox.
You normally will not see a Knox team make this many errors.
Illegal use of the hands to the face mask. Number 61 declined. Second down.
That was Robert Pratt with the illegal use of the hands. So that's the end of the third quarter. We hope you're enjoying it. Good, hard-hitting football game. Rams and the Seahawks. Rams are doing it tonight without their starting right guard, Dennis Hara. Looks like he might have pumped a little iron in his time. Either that or lifted the Coliseum. The Seahawks. Second down and 18. They're at the Rams. 30-yard line. Craig picks off in the end zone. Roaming in the outfield was Johnny Johnson. Had his eyes on that all the way. And the Rams get the touchback.
I don't understand that play. They're in field goal possession. Dave just threw the ball up for grabs.
Craig knew exactly what he had done wrong. I can't believe he didn't see Johnny Johnson. Tried to maybe slip it in between. Johnny Johnson just waited on it. They get the turnover. The Rams have the ball back at their own 20-yard line. And they have a 21-10 lead. Early moments of the fourth quarter.
And they certainly had an opportunity for a field goal at that time, at least another down to get the first down.
Rams now can seriously think about keeping this thing on the ground. Running the big man, Dickerson, getting him into shape. Working on the clock. Skeeter Brock trying to get it to Duckworth, not even in the area. It'll be second down and 10.
It's tonight attended 63,292.
I think Peter had the right idea that time. We're looking to see the Rams run the football, and so are the Seattle Seahawks. They had everyone in there tight, and his 2 wide receivers were being played man-to-man by the cornerbacks, and he just flat missed the wide receiver. He was open.
Second down and 10. With a weapon like Dickerson, you really don't have to play this game very orthodox. You get second and long, third and long, you can give it to the big man. And as often as not, he'll get it for you. Tripped up. Kenny easily tripped him up. As a matter of fact, all the way up there from strong safety. Coming on the blitz. And Dickerson is held to a yard. It'll be third down and 9. That's at halftime. Seattle in pass.